mic is, I'm going live right now.
My mic is what?
You know what? There's a little bit of buzzing. There's a little bit of mic clipping. There's shit that's just wrong. But you know what? I'm having one of those days where like everything that can go wrong is just kind of like going, hey, let's go wrong. So I don't care. I don't give a shit right now. Look, I just
Good.
unmonetized us. I don't give a shit.
Fuck it all. We would see. I already unmonetized just by doing that. Now we're double unmonetized. Now we owe them money.
Everyone telling me to keep this damn beard, but I am in like full on itch phase.
Oh wow! I literally just got an email from Puget Systems saying that all of their testing has confirmed that Adam was correct, and the cards need to move to slot 1 and slot 2 respectively to gain 15 to 30%. Whoa. Okay. Good.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't follow you.
We're talking about Titans, Jay. We're talking about where everybody's asking me why I haven't done the Titan benchmark yet, and it's because right now I have it in slot 1 and 4.
Gotcha.
But it was running a lot slower than Adam's setup, where he was doing slot 1 and 2. So Puget Systems just ran the whole gamut and battery of tests in every configuration and confirmed that slot 1 and slot 2, even though the cards are sandwiched together and get hotter and have to thermally throttle, they're still faster than them being separate.
Just crank the fans to 100, bruh.
Crank that bitch to leak.
Or water cool them like I'm gonna.
No, water cooling's for poor people, dude.
Yeah, I think you're right. My blocks came today, so I can water cool these guys right here. I like strategically place them in the background of videos all the time just to trigger the people who are like, you don't need all those GPUs. It's like, yes, I do.
Oh, I thought you put them back there because you were contractually obligated to get all your money.
No, remember I sold my kids for these. I don't owe nobody nothing. These are clean and clear.
That was a straight up trade. I thought that was like a first payment or something.
All right, I'm rolling that intro. We're late on that.
All right. Welcome to Tech Talk, the show where Jay shows up 10 minutes before we go live, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And Eric Hobbs is on the document, so if your comments don't get read, it's his fault.
You just reminded me, like, I totally sound Linusified. It's like 10 minutes before. I'm like, all right, what do we got? Let's go. Like, look at the title. Have you seen the title?
No, actually, I haven't. Oh, Jay overclocks a toaster. Is that correct? Wait.
What?
Why does the document say that? The document says Jay overclocks.
I said look at the title of the stream. I didn't say look at the document.
Son of a bitch! Just hold on, okay? Hold on, everybody. Hold on, all 2,000 people watching while I go and find this.
Oi.
Titles are just labels. Okay, here we go. Titles are just labels, and you can't put labels on us.
You can't.
Mainly because they wouldn't stick because we sweat so much.
You can't do that.
It's fat people problem.
I'm changing the encoder settings as I'm encoding. I like that you can do that with OBS because I was getting a warning. I was getting a warning from YouTube saying that my bitrate was a little low, and I'm always trying to kind of fine tune that because my internet is like hamster wheel, and so.
Which I still lol about all the time.
I know, because my area is not like rural in any way, shape, or form.
Dude, you literally live in like 10 times like better neighborhood than I live in, and I have better internet than you.
Yeah. But anyway,
and you're in Southern California. Ugh.
So so XSplit, you can't make any changes. Like once you hit go live, everything is locked down and grayed out. You have to stop the stream to make a minor change and then keep going. One thing I like about OBS is I just went in there and was like, I went into settings while we were live streaming, up the bit rate, and then went back, like just hit apply and watched the bit rate in real time climb to where it should be, and then. It just went. I love that you can do that in real time with OBS.
Is that new to OBS Studio? Because OBS Classic, I don't remember being able to do that.
I'm not using Studio.
You're using Classic?
I'm using Open Broadcaster software. I'm not using the Studio.
Damn.
No, I used the Studio on my laptop. I downloaded it once to capture stuff off the laptop. Whoa, your connection just went on Skype. But anyway, so I had tested it on there, and I downloaded Studio and didn't realize it. Now, Studio's gone very like XSplit style, right? It's very drag and drop and stuff like that.
Yep. Cross-platform everything, yeah.
But I'm so used to OBS Classic now, it's like I don't want to change anything.
No, I get that when you have I had the same problem with like transferring all of my overlays and stuff over. That was a pain in the ass, even though I had like 3 of them. Yeah. But no, I liked Studio a lot better. I found that Studio was actually less resource intensive. Now, when it first came out, it was a pile of unstable shit, and it's crashed less.
Yeah, I'm gonna do something right now that's gonna probably piss off some of the viewers real quick. Hold on.
What else is new?
I just unplugged and re-unplugged in a USB device because it was freaking out, and I'm sure how many people right now just thought that something unplugged or plugged back into their system because it's capturing system sound.
Because it's like gunk 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 gunk. The default Windows sound for unplugged USB device has not been changed in like 4 centuries.
Someone says Jerry moves around a lot, or moves his head a lot. Have you seen his videos? Man, he's like a freaking bobblehead. Holy hell.
Well, the thing
dude.
you got to realize is I'm looking at 50-inch screens, like 3 of them. So I
No,
literally
I'm talking about when your back's to
the edge of one, I'm looking at the edge of the other.
That's no excuse when your back is to the screen and you're talking to a camera. Right?
My camera has 3 50-inch screens on it, Jay, okay?
That's true.
No, I move
yeah,
a lot, guys, because I have raging ADHD. It makes me constantly move. I'm in a
Okay.
constant state of motion.
Guys, I'm going to give you a little look behind the scenes here. You ready? I'm going to show you in real time what we've got planned for the show today. Look at that dock. It is completely blank.
I should probably put
I
something
love
in
it. I love it. It's literally it's like a total mantra for the show. We just don't even care. So if you guys remember, I was saying that I was going to be on the Smoking Tires podcast. That is up. You can find that on there, smokingtire.com. And got to hang out with Matt Farah and talk cars and tech and stuff. That was fun. He's a pretty cool guy. You know what I like about him? He's a lot like me, where he's like, do you ever get people that are just like, I hate you because you just tell it like it is? I'm like, dude, we're like brother from another mother, man.
I could see you and Matt getting along like perfectly. You guys both have the exact same personality.
That's why I thought we might not get along.
No, that's true. That's actually true. Sometimes when you meet somebody that's exactly the same energy level and everything as you, things get weird.
Yeah.
But I could totally see you guys being brothers, because like it seems like you two would just ultimately end up every 10 minutes on a street corner talking shit down to people because you're just both assholes. But I love them. They're lovable assholes.
Pretty much. Like
everybody always asks me like, oh, I even like you. He's like, Jay just rips on you endlessly, and I was like, yeah, but that's his charm. Like, I'm kind of like one of those men that seeks out abusive partners.
They don't see the amount of behind the scenes you rip on me, though.
Well, that's because I keep it hidden for a reason, Jay. I've never ripped on Jay. I'm always uplifting and shit to him, fucker.
Yeah, he never rips on anything. He just rips my bike apart. That's all.
Hey. If you didn't have the pedal fucking coming off, where we had to like tie it back on with spit and bubble gum.
Dude, I love how you're like, my foot was stuck on the pedal and that made me flip over the handlebars, yet I ride with my feet attached to the pedals.
No, I got my my laces caught on it. I should have tucked my laces. And I usually do, for the record, but I was so busy getting on and off the bike, they popped out, and I got lazy and didn't put them back in, and I paid for it with my knee.
And my handlebars and my bike frame and my derailleur and...
Oh, you're never going to ride that bike ever again.
Actually, I rode it quite a few times after you were here to the gym because I didn't want to lock up my carbon fiber bike because I want that.
Oh, that actually makes sense because that thing's just scream and steal me.
Yeah. So anyway,
that's a problem I have with the rad power bike too. Is I always want to ride it places, but I'm like, I don't know if I really want to leave it, chained up. It's got a motor on it. It's got a battery. Like somebody's gonna take that.
Let's just say it like it is. You want to drive it places.
I do.
That's the.
I want to drive it places and then have it drive me places.
You know what kind of sucks? Like I went to block someone and I almost moderated them.
You know what would suck is if they were like right at the perfect time, like it moderates you, they just insta ban like everybody from the channel and stop the stream.
Fortunately, there's no ban all button.
Yeah,
I'd probably use it on accident. No, let's face it, I'd probably use it on purpose. All right. Anyway,
hey, I'm getting partnered with Twitch.
That's cool. How does a guy who never streams get partnered?
I got mad at YouTube for not letting me into the freaking YouTube party.
I love that you
when I got mad at them, I went and texted Twitch, and they're like, "We'll just partner you. That's fine."
I love that. I love how you just thought you could like name drop. I'm Barnacles, and I'm like, we don't give a fuck.
I didn't name drop. They invited me, and they didn't put me on the list. And I literally had to argue with two like high schoolers, like Valley girls from California, telling me that I wasn't on the list. And it was annoying. Like, their voice was literally, like, making me mad. They're like, we're sorry, but you're not on the list. And I was like, oh.
And that's not on the list. It's like...
not on the list. Why are you standing here? Jeez. Oh, my gosh.
That's what's nice about the CES parties is sometimes I'll sign up for them, sometimes I won't, because I'm just like, I don't know if I want to go hang out at 2 in the morning when I'm exhausted. So, like, not last year, I didn't go last year, but the year before that, there was a couple parties I wanted to go to, and they were, like... I say sold out. They have limited spaces because remember when they rent out these clubs in Vegas, they have to give a head count, and that's as many people as are allowed in because that's what they pay for, right? Right. So there's tickets, and then when they're gone, they're gone. They go on like Eventbrite kind of thing. And it's funny because there was one party I wanted to go to, and I was like, oh, I'm not in the list, and not only did I end up getting in, I ended up getting VIP, which was kind of neat. So
oh, geez, that's cool.
But when you're a nerd in the nerd space and. Yeah, it's got its benefits every now and then. What the fuck is that big orange and green block thing? Orange and blue, whatever.
I think that's a swastika.
I think, but he's blocked. What the hell? It's fun. All right, so guess what happened this week, Jerry? The iPhone 7 was announced on Wednesday, and it's
You know what?
two cameras.
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't even watched the actual iPhone 7 like release talk or whatever. All I've watched is the parodies, and
Well,
the
you know
parodies are hilarious.
What's funny is every single year, and it's funny the amount of people during my tweets on Wednesday were like, "My God, you're savage. God, you're salty. God, just shut up." It's like they don't know that for the last 5 years straight, I've live tweeted roasts, like iPhone roast, right? So I've always just like live tweet. It's funny because my feed is full of a lot of like the folks that really care about that stuff. Like they're into the consumer tech, so they're tweeting like, "This function is really neat. Oh, this function's kind of cool," or "Oh, Android's had that for a while. That's nothing new." And I'm over here like, why the fuck do they applause at everything? Like he could just be like, well, I would say I have cancer, but that's a terrible thing to say because of Steve Jobs. But literally, he could have got up there and been like, I have sickle. He could have been like, I got sickle cell, and they would be like, yeah, woo, because there's like an applause sign that goes on in the ceiling like a sitcom, right? And I just get irritated how they clap at everything, except when they were like, hey, we've got Apple Pay rolling out in Japan. Everyone's like, chirp, chirp, quiet, quiet, because that means they have to pay. Right,
dude. Every fanboy group has like a different edge on it. Like we should almost do a video on like all the different fanboys in the different groups.
Yeah.
Like AMD fanboys. How would you define an AMD fanboy?
How would you define one?
Like what do you think they like? What would be their defining characteristic that all AMD fanboys seem to share?
We love AMD because it's not NVIDIA.
We love AMD because it's not NVIDIA, and we're poor people and we're proud of it.
I wouldn't go that far.
Name a single person who's team AMD that's like richer than God. None of them. It's none of them.
This is why I can't have a serious conversation with you.
Every single. I'm not being serious.
Oh my God.
Okay,
you may be, but I'm not. I can't be serious with that.
Apple fanboy. Apple fanboys, they're all defined by, like you said, they will literally cheer and get anything, even if it's like, oh wow, the iPhone now comes with glass on the front. You know, it's like
it's got sapphire crystal, but it's not really sapphire crystal. It's only the button.
And then they make up like, shapes and stuff like this. This would arguably be like a rectangle, but they're like, no. And with our new Stardust sprinkles shape, it is perfect. No, that's iPhone. And then Android. The Android fanboys always have the one argument that they always come back with: we can do anything with our cell phone because it's a computer. That's the Android guys.
It's a computer. You know, the funny reality is, like, I make fun of the iPhone because I make fun of the culture. Like, the culture on the phone is really cringy. But I own one right here, and I'm pre-ordering the 7 Plus tonight because I love the simplicity of iPhone, and my battery on this one's toast. Like, my battery percentage is almost 50% degraded because, you can get like Apple will scan it and tell you what your battery health is, but I'm way out of warranty, so they wouldn't replace the phone. And I've had this phone for 2 years, and so I look at it, I'm like, there's features on there that I actually do think are cool and would like. Like, for instance, the dual camera on the Plus. If you've ever pinched in on an iPhone camera to try and take a picture and use a digital zoom, it's pixelated and looks like shit. The low light's awful. They even in the iPhone 6, which I have, they're like, this is the best camera ever. And I look at it, I'm like, this sucks.
Oh, I agree.
This camera just sucks.
I absolutely agree that optical zoom is in every way superior.
But the iPhone 7 Plus, not the 7, but the 7 Plus, has 2 cameras in it. One, which is your standard wide zoom, which you're used to, it has a large aperture, and then you've got the other one, which has like up to a 10x optical zoom, which I think is like, oh, okay. Considering
Wait, I didn't see that. It's 10x.
It goes up to 10x, yes.
That's pretty damn impressive in something that thin.
And it still maintains a pretty fast aperture too. So it's one of those things where I look at it, I'm like, you know what? Because of what I do on social media, and there's times I want to take video or I'll take my phone because it's simple. That alone is kind of like, wow, I need a new phone anyway, and that's a nice feature. Okay, if maybe other Androids have had that, but I don't like Android because I don't like that flexible. I know it sounds ridiculous considering what I do for a living, but on the go and with my mobile device, I don't like that super flexible ecosystem that it has in there. I literally like the streamlined, basic, literally my 2-year-old can use it. Because if I get drunk, I want to be able to use my phone. That's the honest part there.
Well, the problem is if you have all that power at your fingertips, you're going to try to use it all the time and you're going to fuck your phone.
Hold on, everyone's correcting here. It's 2x optic, 10x digital. Now, okay.
Oh, okay. So I was going to say, how the hell do you get 10x digital on something that's that thin?
But what's interesting is I thought there was a 5x. But anyway, So they showed, and just like I don't trust AMD marketing like at all.
Yeah.
Like I've never trusted AMD marketing. I never will trust AMD marketing. Same really kind of goes for Nvidia too, but like AMD especially, I don't trust Apple marketing at all either. Like period, because they showed that 10x, which are like, and this is the 10x zoom, and it looked like razor sharp. And there's no way I feel with that second lens that you can get a 10x optical or a 10x digital zoom that maintains that level of sharpness and is straight out of camera like they're claiming. I mean,
Well,
that's
the
the
other
first thing
thing,
everyone's
too,
going
is
to test. But
the iPhone is notoriously known for how much it post-processes images. I actually like it. I like the fact that when you take a picture with an iPhone, it's really taking like 12 pictures in the background, selecting the best one, and then modifying it with, to get rid of as much noise as possible.
yeah,
I like that because it's a cell phone, and I want to post a nice picture without having to screw with it.
Right.
A lot of the Android phones, like the OnePlus 3 and stuff like that, you'll take a picture and you'll be like, man, this looks like shit next to the iPhone. But the truth is, it's a higher megapixel and a better sensor. It's just the magic that they do in the software with the processing is what makes that camera look so much better than it actually is.
they've pretty much advertised like that super bokeh, like that very massive depth of field, and what it turns out, it looks like it's going to be digital processed, like artificial bokeh, in my opinion. And then anyone who cares about like photography at all, I think would look at that as like, that sucks because you don't want the software adding that depth of field.
Right. And you can do it yourself, right? I mean, they have Photoshop Elements or whatever that you can download as an app and do all the post-processing you want. The one phone that I think is the exception that might pull me away from iPhone this year if they figure out how to get the battery to stop exploding is the Samsung Note 7. I used one.
Batteries exploding on those?
Yeah.
Wow.
They literally said that it's only in one country, but then they issued a full recall worldwide to take them off the shelves. So
wait, how does a phone only blow up in one region or country? Is it
because
related?
the batteries that they used in that region were different than the ones that were shipped to the U.S.
I see. I mean, I know I know there's a difference between European and American when it comes to like electronic devices, but I didn't know that
it's probably because like in China or something, the battery doesn't, and you guys can correct me in chat, but the battery in China probably doesn't have to be like UL certified and shit like everything does in the United States. So they probably use like the poor people battery in that one, and then they ship us the expensive one. But at any rate, it's shorting internally, and the battery's basically exploding. And lithium polymer batteries are nasty when they explode. So, anyways, once they get that fixed, the thing is screaming fast. I used one; it's finally responsive. No, it's got less lag than the iPhone, which I never thought an Android device would do that. Mm-hmm. Partially that's because the iPhone has actually started getting lag, which it didn't like 3 generations ago when Steve was alive. But the cool thing about it is the camera on it is gorgeous. Oh my God. I was taking pictures side by side with my iPhone 6 Plus and Jen's friend of mine. And she was like you said, zooming in the screen all the way with like the 4K screen all the way in on stuff. And it was razor sharp. I'd zoom in on mine and you'd have like the ghosting lines around it. And it'd be really noisy. No, the camera on that is a boss. So
we're talking about mobile phones right now, which I think incites more argument than anything PC ever does.
Yeah, well,
I made the mistake here, but I'm sitting here reading the chat, and now I have AIDS.
Did you just get AIDS from the chat again?
I just got AIDS from the chat.
I hate that. Last week I got the bubonic plague,
and I can't afford that AIDS pill.
Yeah, that thing's expensive, dude.
I'm screwed. Yeah, it's more. But it's less expensive than the EpiPen is now.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I was like, you better not have any allergies, man. If you have allergies, you're boned. Did you see the life hack for that? Like, you basically just go buy the generic, the generic epinephrine or whatever, and you put it in a syringe, and then you just carry that around, and that's like your EpiPen that costs like $10.
God, it's like a 4-inch syringe.
Yeah, and it's literally the same thing. Other than the injector mechanism that the EpiPen is known for, it is exactly the same substance you're injecting. And the price is different by hundreds of dollars. How fucking pharmaceuticals, man.
Yeah, that's the U.S. medical system for you.
It's like the Adderall you take for the ADHD. The Adderall is for a month's supply is like $273, and I take a low dose. I don't even take a high dose. Most people do. $273 a month, and there's no generic for it.
Yeah,
like they're all that they all cost that much, and I'm like, son of a bitch. So. With my insurance, basically I have to pay that until my copay's up. But I was like, didn't this shit used to cost like $30 a month like 10 years ago? Like, I don't get why. Oh, and this is the great part. So, okay. Adderall is like, I want to say like $20+ a tablet, right? Or whatever, if you look at it, on the street. Opiates like Oxycontin and Oxycodone and everything, you can get generics of all those for like 20 cents a pill or 50 cents a pill.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that kind of weird that we live? This is like that whole thing where it's like food that's good for you is expensive, fast food is cheap. Drugs that make you focus and work better cost more than the drugs that just make you sit on your ass and eat cookies. I
think that proves that the pharmaceuticals are controlled by the fast food vendors.
Ooh, you might have a point there.
It's a cycle.
It's a cycle. McDonald's and Pfizer. I could see that working.
Yeah, you can get a side order of the blue pill.
Yep. Oh, you know what I did the other night? I'm gonna say this because this will piss everybody off, but it's actually a good thing. I ate 4 McDonald's hamburgers in one sitting the other day. You want to know why? You want to know why? You want to know, Jay?
Not really.
Okay, well, I'm gonna fucking tell you anyways. No, I'm trying to stay as close to my caloric intake every day so that I don't basically go into starvation mode, because I was doing that for a little while. And so I literally realized on my way home from PAX that I had like 1,000 calories left for the day. And a McDonald's hamburger with no cheese on it, just a plain hamburger, is 250 calories. So I grabbed me 4 of them bad boys and put them down and still lost weight. So,
so when I was doing my weight loss last year, you can every now and then do something like that, right? You can.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it every day.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like once a week, I would allow myself a meal where I'm just like not counting anything. So I did my counting way different than you. Obviously, I didn't do just a general number like you are. I cared about the source of those numbers because I wanted to keep them in certain categories. So I just took it to the next level. But every now and then, it was like once a week. I think it was usually Sunday. I would just go, and it usually coincided with like the 50-mile rides, because I would burn 6,000 calories on those rides alone. So I looked at it like, you know what?
Yeah.
I can eat whatever the hell I want today, and it doesn't matter. Like we'd go out to dinner, and I would literally just be like, I'm getting an appetizer, I'm getting a meal, I'm getting dessert. Fuck, we're gonna go to Starbucks afterwards, and then we're gonna go get frozen yogurt. Like, I could do whatever I want, and I'd get on the scale the next day, and I'd still be down like 4 pounds from the week prior. But that's because I was doing that insane level of riding. But because I'm not doing that anymore, obviously I can't do that. Like, if I do that now, I would probably gain 5 pounds in water overnight.
Yep. And the whole idea of the changes that I've made, the dietary changes I've made, have been to lose weight doing nothing, literally being sedentary. Everything I do is just a bonus.
Dude,
on top of,
at least you marketed there's your $1 million idea. Lose weight doing nothing with the Jerry diet plan. I can see it now at 3 a.m. It's on at 3 a.m. on like the Food Network channel.
Because that's when all fat people are awake, by the way. 3 a.m.
You know why a lot of it's funny. You know why a lot of people like us are up all night? Because we don't expend enough energy and we eat a lot, right? Because I think so. Obviously, okay, guys. Today we're going into health talk.
I sleep so much better now.
Today we're going into health talk. We're not even doing car talk yet. We're doing health talk, and then we'll do some of these donation comments.
The technology of losing weight.
Your body is a technology. So anyway, I keep adjusting the cam because I'm really annoyed when I get like a big amount of space above my head. Anyway, moving on. I can probably go.
Not thing to be impartial about.
Guys, I'm unplug my phone here. Hold on. Sorry, that was me, not your system. So,
gunk.
we're talking about foods. Now I'm texting the wife like, "What's for dinner?" So anyway, I told my wife to
clean the kitchen. We'll order out.
Okay. What were we talking about?
Stuff. I hate it when this happens. No,
I legit forgot where I was going to go with. I had a thought.
We're talking about foods and diets. Not sleeping. Fat people not sleeping.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, I know. So, okay, how many people? Okay, there's 1,750 people watching right now. There's probably hundreds and hundreds of bags of chips or cookies or whatever sitting on desks right now in front of people watching us. And they're watching this kind of going munch, 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 or playing World of Warcraft or whatever, like munch, munch, munch.
I was one of them.
So when you do that, you're taking in a lot of energy. That's got to be stored somewhere, and you're very sedentary. So your metabolic rate and everything is super low. So what happens is your body has this energy, and it's going, well, I don't necessarily need to sleep yet because I'm not really all that tired. Like, you'll feel groggy, and you'll feel tired, but not sleep tired. You'll just feel lazy tired.
And there's a big difference, too. That's what I found out is, like, I can sit there completely exhausted an entire day yawning and still not be able to get to sleep.
Yeah, and you'll stay up all night and stuff. But the best night's sleep I had obviously was when I was doing my regular biking, and I'm trying to get back to that so hard. But the summers out here have been rough this year because we had a lot of fires this year, and my lungs when it's smoggy already out here, which is a lot. The amount of people now that are saying what it is they've got in front of them food wise. That's funny. So like when I would do my bike rides, if it was even just a little bit smoggy, I'd come back with lungs that just hurt. And if you're a cyclist in the LA area, you know what I'm talking about. It just hurts. And then the smoke on top of that from all the fires that was constantly happening, I didn't get to ride nearly as much as I want to.
Well, stop being a little bitch and put on like a respirator and go out there and ride.
Yeah, and at the rate that I breathe when I ride, I would not be able to stay alive. I'd probably die. Because,
have you ever seen people riding around on bikes though, like with respirators, or at very least that those little painters masks or whatever?
You can't use a painter's mask while you're riding like that, dude. You'll end up just limiting the amount of oxygen you can get. But the only time I've seen anyone do anything like that with a mask on is when they're on like a sports science center and they're doing like body testing. But,
oh yeah,
yeah. I wouldn't be able to ride with anything attached to my face like that.
I just think it'd be fun to watch, Jay. I just thought it'd be a good idea for a vlog. CJ going.
I'm all Darth Vadering it up.
You know, like one mile on the road.
And that's just me getting on the bike. Yeah, I haven't ridden in a while. I need to. I want to, but damn it, it's like I'm so freaking busy, and I hate that. That's why I'm looking at expanding and hiring. But you know what though? I want to say this though. If you sent me an email or a message or something responding to the tweet I put out the other day saying, send me your resume if you're a filmographer or a cinematographer, I want to clarify something real quick. I'm not looking for another me. A lot of folks seem to think that's very intense.
There's no room for other you.
No, a lot of folks seem to think I'm looking for someone who can do what I can do. Like I'm looking for someone who can build a computer or water cool or is capable of building. And it's like, you know what? I'm not looking for a Luke. I'm not looking for
You're looking for somebody who's more talented than yourself. I get that.
That's not hard. But I'm not looking for someone who is like Luke for Linus. I'm looking for someone who can do what I can't do, not what I can do. I don't need to hire someone that can do what I can do. I need to hire someone who complements my weaknesses. I need somebody who's really good with Photoshop and Adobe Premiere or Final Cut Pro or whatever. I need somebody who does amazing camera work because I'm mediocre at best. Dude.
You find yourself an After Effects jockey because that program is the most confusing program I've ever seen in my life.
So I need someone that can do that complements me. It's funny the amount of people that are I said specifically I was looking for a cinematographer, and the amount of people that were like, I have no idea how to use a camera, but I can build a computer, and it's like that's not. So I'm just putting that out there now. Like if you didn't get a response, I can't respond to all of them, but I do have a very strict criteria of what I am looking for. Just saying.
So since I do Tech Talk with you every week, does that mean that I'm a member of Jay's Tech Tips?
Jay's Tech Tips. I know, right? That joke's been going around ever since I tweeted that. I like how suddenly if you have an employee, you're a Linus.
Well, you kind of are, though.
Do you know how many of the tech YouTubers actually had behind the scenes people working with them or for them that they just don't go around advertising it?
Oh, so what you're saying is I'm doing it wrong, Jay? Because I just do everything myself?
You're doing a lot of things wrong, but I just can't tell you. Like
well,
that. That's wrong. That's wrong. What you're doing now is wrong on multiple levels. On multiple levels. Like someone just threw up. Remember we said people are eating while watching this show? Someone just threw up all over their mechanical keyboard because of what you just did.
I'm recording you.
You got that GoPro Mini thing?
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. I like it.
Just throw away money, why don't you? All right, so anyway.
I bought 3 of them. YouTube monies. Woo!
No, you should have got that Garmin, dude. I love my Garmin. Anyway.
Oh, it doesn't have an SD card. Damn it.
I bought a new lens, though. Like I'm buying a lot of equipment right now because I need to spend money for the business. But I bought that Sigma 18 to 35 that everyone loves so much. Even though I have a Canon 17 to 55 right here. But yeah, I love that Sigma lens. My last couple of videos have been with it. I think it looks amazing.
All the shit you shoot looks amazing.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It looks all right, but then like I'll go and I'll hang out at Austin Evans' office and then I'll see what Ken can do and I'm like, damn it, I suck.
What does he shoot on? What camera does he use?
FS7. He has an FS7 and FS5. He's got I think a Sony 6300, I believe it is, and a C100 Mark 1.
Okay, so he's not shooting like crazy red epics and shit like some people do.
no one's really using Red Epic inside the YouTube space, but guys like MKBHD and like Jonathan Morrison and them with like the Team Crispy, they're using like Red Scarlets and stuff like that, which are considerably cheaper. They're like 15 grand. I say considerably cheaper than an Epic, but 15 grand for a YouTube camera is kind of insane.
And I'm over here using like a handheld camcorder. I actually went backwards. Jay, I'm the only person probably that you've ever known that has gone backwards. I went from a Canon 5D Mark III with a full frame sensor down to a Sony Handycam.
Screw that full frame sensor, dude. Everyone's shooting in Super 35 right now. That's like the cinema sensor.
Oh,
but anyway,
in the know.
I'm trying to get out of DSLR. It's got so many drawbacks to it, and since I'm going to CES this year, I want a good on-the-go camera, and the FS5 fits that. The problem is the FS5 is just so freaking. Yeah, I know to get a speed booster so I can keep my Canon glass. That's the whole idea. But anyway, they're not available right now. They're back ordered everywhere because Sony is having manufacturing issues with them, and Sony's main shipper just filed bankruptcy. So it's just like they're all stuck in Asia.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I did find one though. It's in Minnesota. But anyway, all right. So I need to start some of the donation comments here, Jerry. So you might want to cue some of yours up.
I will.
Jan86US says, long time, first time. Whenever they say that, I feel like it's one of those radio programs. Like, hey, Jerry, long time listener, first time caller.
I know exactly, right?
Just here to say keep up the good work, he says. Awesome, thank you. Sam the MD, I wonder if he's a doctor. He
Let's
says,
just assume he isn't.
Jerry's Windows sound impression should be the next Windows sound pack. Dun, 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 dun. That would be pretty funny if every time I plugged in my phone, it's all gunk gunk.
Hey, if you guys want me to do a YouTube video where I record a sound pack literally just with my voice, like every single sound in Windows, and release it as a sound pack that you can download through the video description, let me know. I will seriously do it.
Was it you that was telling me? Somebody was telling me about in the public library, somebody had changed the Windows sign-off sound in the XP machine to like a 5-minute long girl moaning from a porn video. And you know how you can't, the system won't turn off until it's done playing? It was like 5 minutes of an audio clip from like a Brazers video in the public library.
No, the best thing I've done in a public library is I went to one of the machines and I just opened up Media Player.
You made
and
Xander.
I opened up the looking at porn over here wave where it's like, I'm looking at porn over here. I'm looking at porn over here. And I clicked play and I cranked the volume up all the way and then I minimized it and I walked away. And literally the staff could not figure out how to turn it off. And it was literally in the task tray.
That's messed up because you're picking on people that are like terrible at computers. All right.
They will.
Flippin' Fred says, hey, Jerry, your new lighting has definitely given you a better look. Good job, bud.
And my diet.
Jinzo Defiler, I've heard that name before. I'm sure he's donated before. What would you recommend as a car? Wait, what would you recommend as a car as a platform to mod? I've been looking for a car to autocross with. Miata.
Don't get a Z. They're too expensive.
Miata.
They're too expensive to mod.
He said autocross, dude. Miata.
That's actually true. Miatas dominate autocross. Surprisingly, Hondas do too.
Like hatches?
The old 80s hatches.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I know somebody who like has won 2 car classes above himself running one of those because they're just so damn light. You put like 180 horsepower in those things and they're like rockets.
Real Lunacy donated $50 for the fanboy video.
Wow.
I'm not sure if he's calling me a fanboy or I don't know. I wanted to do a spoof on fanboyism. I should just do it. I know it's gonna piss everyone off, but I don't care. Everyone's mad at me anyway.
Dude, if you do it, just give me a spot in it. I want to record one video clip that you include as like customer testimonial.
Yeah, you guys do it you have to do it documentary style though, like my my tech rescue or my PC rescue.
Sit down with like some nice lighting and the focus and everything, and be like, I run AMD graphics cards because my heater broke and I didn't want my family to freeze in the wintertime. I could do that. I could totally do that.
I run AMD graphics cards because I like the color red.
Okay, that's decent.
All right,
I can do that.
Mike Games says, love the show. Because of you, I went from Team Red to Team Green and haven't looked back. Wait a minute here.
You converted an AMD guy?
No, I have never done a video to set out to convert someone. I always put the numbers up there and let them do what they do. That's why I said on Instagram today, I was like, you know what? The G1 Gaming is not performing as good as I thought it would, like in terms of overclocking, although it's getting a little better now. I'm actually massaging that card. I probably should have to do a video about how do you massage a card into allowing itself to overclock. But it's not I'm getting about 1,325 out of it right now, maybe 1,330, which is good. But that's not going to massively change the numbers between reference and aftermarket when it comes to like compared to the 1060. And the thing is, when I do that video, and if I include a 1060 in that benchmark and show like, look, the 1060 is still beating an aftermarket RX 480, everyone's gonna be like, shill, you're a fanboy, you're such a shill, blah blah blah. It's like, you know what, the fucking numbers are what they are. Take it as for what they will. If you're an AMD fanboy and you're mad at that, don't be mad at me. Be mad at AMD. Demand they make a better card. I mean. Don't you think so, Jerry? You're gonna get mad at the guy who reported the facts, or should you be mad at the company that you're supporting that's not giving you the performance you think you should get?
Bro, just talked about AMD fanboyism. There is no negotiating with them.
There's no negotiating with NVIDIA fanboys either. There's no negotiating with iPhone fanboys. There's no negotiating with any fanboy. But I do find for some reason the AMD fanboy crowd to be louder and more boisterous than any other fanboy crowd. I don't get it.
It's literally like trying to talk to a religious person if you're an atheist. That's basically what it's like. You're like, but my graphics card's faster. Here's the numbers. And they're like, oh, but you have to have faith that the AMD card has more potential.
You know what? You know how people always tell you, like, just ignore the haters, right? Because they've never been in our position and have seen what it's like when that. So ignorance is bliss. They don't know what it's like to have thousands of people, literally thousands of people come at you at one time, right? Constantly. And the best way to equate it would be like, imagine every single time you decided to look outside, there was a Jehovah's Witness or a Mormon on your doorstep. That's kind of what it's like. Like, it's literally like...
Technically, you can ignore them, but you just walk into another one, like, instantly.
Right. You have to go outside every now and then. And every now and then I want to read the comments, I want to interact with the fans, but I can't read the comments without reading the hate too, which inevitably, after a while, just chips away, and then you finally respond, and everyone's like, you're being immature because you're engaging and feeding the trolls. And it's like, you know what? I think you would agree with me, Jerry, that anyone that says, just ignore them, like if they were in our shoes for one day, they'd probably be naked in the corner, fetal sucking their thumb. Literally.
I've literally replied to people like that before, where I said, okay, you go out and build a huge YouTube channel where a bunch of people know who the hell you are and message you all the time, and see if you can just ignore it. Because it's different than like one person being an asshat here and there, but it's constant. I mean, I literally have email filters set up that actually pre-filter a ton of email. Like, more email gets filtered than what I read, just because I already know from those words and phrases that it's basically going to be somebody just trolling me. That's how much hate comes in, you know?
I mean, it's like, I feel like the AMD fanboys, not the fans, guys, there's a difference between fan and fanboy. You got to agree with me on that. But I do feel like engaging the fanboy sometimes is like trying to argue with, like, that Hillsborough Baptist group or whatever they are.
Westboro Baptist?
Yeah. It's like trying to argue with them about God.
Kill everybody. Everybody's the devil. Yeah.
Pretty much. Like the water boy's mom, right? AMD is up the devil. You know? It's like, so
Bobby Boucher, AMD's the devil.
Like they came at me hardcore in yesterday's video, where I even straight out said, like, the 1063 gigabyte shouldn't exist. I feel like they're being deceptive with calling it a 1060 when it's got over 130 less CUDA cores. I don't think there's room in this marketplace. I feel like the RX 480 card is a better card if you're going to be banking on the fact that Vulkan API and DX12 are going to be taken off. And still they're like, you're an NVIDIA shill! And they're like stabbing themselves in the heart because they think that I'm like shilling for NVIDIA. It's like, I literally said this card shouldn't be here. And said, get the RX 480. And then they were like losing their shit.
Dude, it's no different than the iPhone thing. I use Apple. I hate the company, okay? I hate their computers, but I love their mobile devices. But I hate the other two, but I can still use a mobile device. It's the same with AMD. If AMD came out with a graphics card tomorrow, let's say Zen. We'll use, because Zen seems to be the thing everybody speculates about. Let's say Zen actually comes out, and for whatever reason, it just overclocks like a dream. It uses half the power that they said it'd be rated for, and it's the miracle processor to cure all fanboyism. I will go and personally buy one and run it if it's the best option. I honestly will.
I have 3 AMD systems that run in this house. 3 of them.
Are they heaters in the basement, or like?
Well, I only use one in the wintertime in the garage. No, I'm just kidding. But
is there one in the kitchen as a cooktop? No, I'm just kidding.
It's a little portable stove.
You know what's funny is fanboys get so mad when I make the AMDs run hot joke, because realistically that was like more of a K5 thing, like from back in the day when the processors would like literally burn up.
Okay. I'll give you guys a little bit of behind the scenes now, because the G1 Gaming is on the bench right now. I've been playing around with that before the stream. So the Gigabyte G1 Gaming with its factory fan profile still hits 80C. I thought you guys might want to know that. Now that's because the fan profile is extremely conservative, because they want to make it as quiet as can be, but it still hits 80C. Yeah, I'm waving around a freaking Sennheiser shotgun mic like a wand here. It still hits 80C, which I was like, dude, come on, guys, crank this fan up a little bit more. Because now it's like, okay, when I do this review, it's gonna be like, here's what the temperatures were, here was how, and guys, yes, it did dynamically thermal throttle, or dynamic frequency control, because it hit 80C, and it went from its 1290 down to like 1272. So just a little bit, not a lot. I'm going, that's ridiculous. You've got an aftermarket card here, custom board, custom cooler, and the clock still came down a little bit because they felt that the fan curve was more important than maintaining the frequency. That's just silly as far as I'm concerned. So again, I'm going to do this video, and it's going to be like, I had to tweak the settings to get what I thought was acceptable. I don't know. I just like, whatever. Jay says Norton is great with AMD.
Two peas in a pod.
You know what's funny? Okay, guys, for those of you that hate Norton, let me just say, they heard you. Norton heard you. I did that ad, right? Just one. It was just one ad. That's all it was in the hopper. That was all that was in the hopper. There weren't more. The hate on my video for Norton was so strong, they canceled the campaign. They canceled it and didn't make anyone else do it. Like anyone who signed up, they were like, we're going to go ahead and cancel the campaign. Because they saw the hate was so much on my video. Glad I could be that beating board for all of you, by the way. That hate was so bad, Norton literally canceled everything with that. And basically told everyone like, hey, here's some money for like agreeing to do it, but we're not going to make you do it. So folks got paid for that and didn't have to do it. What the fuck? Come on, I had to take the heat for it. They got money and didn't have to do shit.
You basically sunk their company, Jay, so they have to consider that they're like.
So if you hate Norton, just know you were so loud about it that they actually made advertising changes because of it. So I guess good on the community, right? The community spoke up, flung arrows at me, but Norton was like, obviously being blocked by me, right? The arrows were hitting me. And yeah, the hate was so strong, you guys actually made a change on a corporate level.
Oh my god!
I think it's kind of an amazing story if you want to know the truth.
Yeah, so basically your audience was Norton cancer.
If you want to call it that.
It would have been nice for them to know that beforehand. They're like, Jay builds really cool computers. I bet you his audience would love Norton. No.
Yeah, it was kind of like, it literally was like a Game of Thrones scene, like the way people came at me, man. And I felt like some folks told me that like I literally should have been like flogged with the bell. Shame, shame, shame for doing the whole Norton thing. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on here. Big Boss Man 0816 says, got a question. Any point to putting a dual 80mm rad? Nope. He says if he has the space. Nope, no point.
Well, just to let you guys know too, I will be reading your questions. I see your donations coming in. The link is in the video description since you can't tip me through YouTube. So if you have a question, use the link in the video description. I will get to it.
Eric Steele says, hey Eric, haven't heard from you in a while. Hey Jay, do you know anything about the EVGA black screen fans to 100% problem they are having with some of their GPUs? What is causing it? No, that sounds like a BIOS issue, honestly. I have, I don't know, 4 or 5 EVGA, like 5 or 6 EVGA cards, the ACX 3.0s from 1060s and up, and I haven't experienced that with any of mine. But then again, I don't run those cards all day, every day, so my likelihood of encountering a bug like that would be a lot less than, say, someone who runs that card primarily. Nico Mixable says, whatever. He says, hey guys, I have some insider info. Apple is looking to purchase large quantity of coin silver, but why would they want it?
To melt it down backs on the iPhone 8? I don't know.
iPhone 8. The iPhone 22. Elias
can't innovate more, so now they just have to put bling on it.
Okay, it's fixed. Suddenly your Skype was deciding to feed me back. Like I was hearing myself on your speakers, but it stopped. Elias Montellano says the generic version is Adderall is amphetamine salts.
Amphetamine salts. Yes, it is. But even the amphetamine salts are stupid expensive.
Jordan Kevin Dibble. That's an epic name. Jordan Kevin Dibble. What would you suggest, EK Rads or Alpha Cool Rads? And is it okay to use EK Block with different company parts like Alpha Cool Rads? What the hell is happening? Like that comment got all jacked up in the translation there.
Is it okay to mix and match water cooling components? Is there like okay?
Of course.
So there is like different metals. Like one company's using copper, the other one's using aluminum. Somehow they have some weird ionizing issue.
Every company is probably using some different grade of copper. Like even the guys that are like, we have 100% copper, are not using technically 100%. There's always some sort of other metal in there. I don't know much about metallurgy. I'm not an alchemist, but it's like
you haven't played enough Skyrim.
Yeah. Yes, you can mix them. The only metal that tends to be a problem for some loops is aluminum or aluminium. If you're on that side of the pond.
Aluminium.
The pond. Yeah, but you're fine. You can mix EK and Alpha Cool. I prefer the EK radiators over Alpha Cool. They're cleaner. I think they're better built. Honestly, Alpha Cool there's always blemishes on Alpha Cool stuff, and it sucks.
Just remember, flush your rad.
EK actually advertises that you don't have to. They actually advertise
even when they say don't do it, you still flush your rad.
It's still good practice. It really is to use some sort of a system prep. It won't hurt. Let's put it that way. Pub Shepherd says, I would love to put... Pup. I know, he's every week, man.
Every week?
Everyone learn from Pup. If everyone that followed us was like Pup, we wouldn't have to put ads in anything. You know that?
I know. I'd be driving like a Lamborghini instead of a blown head gasket STI.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't make them want to actually like donate when you say stuff like that.
That's true.
I would love to put many of my stories I have written. I will do it. Believe it. Are you drunk?
Wait,
I
would. Can you read that again? It sounded like you were having like a weird aneurysm or something.
Okay. He said, I would love to put to movie many of my stories I have written. He wants to be a screenplay writer, basically.
Do it.
Robert Cruz says, I have a GTX 560 Ti. What is a better graphics card for under $150? Can't afford much more since I spent all of the rest on the tower upgrades. So I scored for $149. You guys saw an R9 380X, and everyone was freaking out about the price of that thing. It was just a Micro Center price. So if you live near a Micro Center, you could probably get one of those. But for $150, you could get an RX 460, which will be better. You could probably get an R9 380, which will be better than a 560 Ti. Respawn Point. You notice I didn't say anything about NVIDIA there because
better, Jay, better.
Yeah,
or better.
Betterer. It will be betterer than a 560 Ti, but it won't be bestest.
I mean, it might have more frames per second, but it also might catch your motherboard on fire, right? Is that where we're going with this?
Oh my god! All right. Respawn Point says, "Is it worth getting two GTX 1070s instead of one GTX 1080?"
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Get a single 1080. Get a single 1080.
Why? Wait. What was the first one he said? A 980?
Two 1070s versus one 1080.
Why would you go with two 1070s? Smokes the 1080.
In the games that are optimized and will support it, but if he's not doing things where SLI is going to be prevalent, or he's running something like a 60 hertz panel, there's no point.
What's he going for, though? Like max performance, or does he just say an overall recommendation?
He's just asking for an overall recommendation because they're the same price in Australia.
Okay, I do tend to agree with Jay on the whole single card thing, but I have to admit AMD is getting better with the SLI stuff. It has gotten better with the 1070.
You said AMD, it's NVIDIA.
Sorry, NVIDIA.
See, this is why you don't take this is why you don't take hardware advice from Jerry. He also said good job with the weight loss. Emmanuel Perez says, "Hey Jay and Jerry, I got myself a 86-300ZX Z31. I am and probably will video blog repairs and such. Would like to get this baby cruising the Cali highways. Good luck on your project as well." Man, Z31s, when they're done right, are clean. One of the guys that that helped, like in fact, my tuner, the guy who tuned my car, works over at Nissan Race Shop in Fontana. He's got a Z31 that looks amazing. In fact, he was one of the twin turbo V6s originally. He actually pulled that out and put in an RB26 with a single turbo. So he went backwards.
A gorgeous car.
Yeah. I'll have to show you actual pictures of his. It looks amazing. In fact, he even got put in street tuners. magazine with that car.
No, that's legit. I'd drive that.
JJHLZZ says, last time you read my comment, you got my name right on the first try.
Wow.
Also, Barnacles, you've made me a Xeon fanboy. Hashtag Intel Xeon for the win.
Xeon Master Race.
See, you bringing everyone down. Admiral Bat7 says, Jerry, do it. I saw a lot of Jerry do it. What did you say you're going to do?
It's for the sound pack. They want the sound pack.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So I'm literally probably after Tech Talk going to sit down and just record every single system sound. It's going to be like USB plugged in, USB unplugged, powering down.
Your wife's going to walk in and be like, "Oh, great, not again. Jerry's lost his mind," and just walk out.
At least she didn't walk in while I was looking at porn today trying to shoot that video for YouTube.
Have
Not
Jay
even
do
joking. Go watch my channel.
He said, "Have Jay do some of the sounds to each of you install the sound pack on someone's random computer as a prank video."
Guys, if I do the sound pack and it gets like 400,000 views, Jay will release his own sound pack. All YouTubers do this.
We just have to make sure we have good hosts, because we'll bring down any of the free hosts over. Like we'll DDoS them by putting something up for people to download.
That's true. Yeah, no, I was actually thinking about that, like putting it up on a Dropbox or something. You'd instantly hit the limit. Your link would be deleted.
Rasim Muratovic says, "Hey, Jay and Jerry, you guys are great. Check out my water-cooled Raspberry Pi 3 build." Really? You water-cooled a Raspberry Pi 3? That's awesome.
Why? Can you overclock a Raspberry Pi?
Why not?
Well, I mean, if you can't overclock it, I mean, it's designed to already like run in a sealed enclosure, like in your pocket. So
And it will run that much better. Duh. Ethan Rue says, "Call me Rue."
That Rue?
Newly built rig. Lee and Lee PCO8. I think it's funny, like when you because we always look at it in order, right? Like who said it and then what they said. And sometimes it's like, don't use my real name. Right after you're like, Ethan Rue says, don't use my real name.
Sorry, Ethan Roll.
You did that. You did that last week.
I did. I did it twice, actually.
Joey Tech Talks. Really? Royalties, man. I run AMD graphics cards, but I agree with you about AMD fanboys. I like both companies, but each has pros and cons. Of course, NVIDIA ain't perfect. Yoda Ninja says, notice that you seem to be really on edge recently. Here's 20 so you can get yourself a beer on me. Cheers. So if I just get edgy and salty, people give me money?
Don't feed this. Don't feed this.
It's been a stressful week, but
literally,
I'm
this
fine.
is how Tech Talk started, guys. Like before we started the stream, Jay does the test call like 10 minutes before we're going live, and I yell at the microphone on the floor. I'm like, "What's up, Jay?" And he's like, "Do you have to yell in my damn ear? I get my headphones turned all the way up." He's like salty like an old man. He's like, "Get off my fucking lawn." Jay's angry people when he's productive.
I'm fine. No, I'm just look. I was having a conversation yesterday with someone. And literally, they were like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "I'm at the boiling point. How are you?" And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm at the tipping point. I cannot get anything else done. My bandwidth right now is like charter communication. Okay, it is maxed, and there's only so much I can do as one person. And I'm now limiting my prospects and my potential because I can only do as much as I can do. And there's things I want to do that I can't do by myself. So I'm now looking at incorporating. I'm looking at commercial space. I'm also looking at hiring. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a ball of stress at the moment, which means in the meantime, I'll be making less money in the efforts of making more money in the future. There's a lot at stake. So yeah, doing Tech Talk right now and turning on the mic and having Jerry be like, "What's up, give me a beer?" Yeah, it wasn't exactly welcoming.
Jay, you have salt in your mangina, but it's okay because it's what allows you to keep doing everything.
It's
everything falls apart when it gets crazy.
It's sand. There's sand in my mangina.
Sand in your mangina. He has a sandy mangina.
Anyway, Carlos Velez says, "Jay, here's 10. I've missed a couple of live streams. WRX ride you had a while back. Has that given you a new perspective on the all-wheel drive platform?" Abso-freaking-lutely. I was shocked, considering it's the newer STI too, not the one like Jerry has. It's the newest body style, which they kind of went away from the rally style.
And it's a bigger car too, but it handles a lot better because now they've actually got a center diff that's like smarter, like the Evo.
It understeers like a boss, right?
They all do.
It's manageable understeer. What I will say this though was the suspension on that car shocked the hell out of me, in that it gripped pretty damn good. But the thing was, the amount of suspension travel it still has allowed him to cut like a mofo. He could cut corners. And literally put two wheels up over the rumble patch and have no problems. Where my car...
Did he have aftermarket coils on it?
Oh, God, yes. Dude,
what was he running, you know?
I'm not sure. This car looked stock on the outside, but was 100% not stock. Is total track sleeper. But it's one of those things where and he told me what coils he has. I can't remember, but it's one of those things where the way he was able to cut. See, Auto Club Speedway, the rumble on the Roval, like the rumble patches, they're raised. They're raised like 3 inches, and so a car like mine that would completely upset my car. Like I wouldn't be able to run that over, and I don't think my car would take it as good as like the STI. It just soaked it up, right?
Yeah.
And I've noticed that with your car, like when you took me out and you got those little roundabouts, and how fast you could take some of those. Like even though your car is fairly squishy because you're kind of set up for the dirt, it didn't have a lot of body roll. It was really weird. It was a weird feel where like my car body roll and suspension stiffness kind of go hand in hand. Where
I have big sway bars on mine, but I can still hit a speed bump like full on going 20, 30 miles an hour and the car will not bottom out.
Well, yeah, and the sway bars and stuff on my car are massive too, but it's one of those things where even if I have the massive sway bars, if I loosen up my suspension to something like yours, the car leans a lot more.
Oh, wow.
Even though my car is way shorter than yours. So it's weird. It's like it's just got to do with the suspension geometry on the STI.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm trying to get through all these so we can get to yours. Shit.
I know, I've got quite a few too, man.
Aston Rob says, hi, Jay. Okay, we're going to do lightning round. Aston Rob says, hi, Jay. Saving money for an invention I'm working on, but I'm donating because your videos are just as important. Thank you, sir. I feel like you're investing in my future, and that's amazing, and I appreciate that. Flippin' Fred says, sitting here with water, yogurt, and vitamins to our health. You sell out to the vitamin crowd. Sell out. Sell out to your health. Kyle Buchanan says, hey, Jay, looking at EK's pastel coolant. Do you have any viewpoints on it? Have a nice day. Pastel coolant from EK is Mayhem's Pastel. It is the same stuff. It's just rebottled. Ethan, call me Rue. Rue has original question got cut off. So, Ethan, call me Rue Rue. I plan to liquid cool the 1080s. I'll be adding a 240 rad, but due to the space limitation of the Lee and Lee, I cannot add another pump, and the res will a pump and res I have work.
Put it on the outside. Stick it on the door.
He didn't say what pump and res he has, though. He asked me if it'll work, and he doesn't say which one he has. Let me check the other comment. I don't.
It's a big one.
No, he didn't say what he has. He asked me if it'll work, but it didn't say what it is. I wonder if there's another comment that didn't come through.
Oh.
Jared Zarnikow. Hey, dude. Every week, man. Well, good to see you. Hey, guys. How are you doing? How do you feel about the RX 490 possibly comparable to the 1080? Keep up the weight loss, Jerry. Have a nice day. There is no RX 490 in the works that I've been told. And even if there was, I don't think it would compete with the 1080. I think it might scrape the bottom of a 1070, maybe. I think you would have to wait and see if they came up with like a 490X or maybe what their future Fury and HBM platform holds for them to even really kind of even consider competing with the high-end Pascals. All right, that's the last one I got for right now. So why don't you go and do yours?
Wow, look at you go.
Lightning round. Got to talk really fast on people who don't speak English, maybe they can't understand what you're saying. Yep. Go.
Wow. Okay, so,
all right, time's up. Okay, moving on.
Michael Chalker said, "Hey, it's Michael. Have some healthy or Starbucks on me. Love the show. Keep up the great work. I'll give Jay some love too. So Jay got some love for his Sandy Mangina, and now I just lost my list. There we go. Got it. Sandy Ginas. All right. John 5 Games says, think I hit the highest user bench GTX 1080 score, 2151 megahertz, MSI Seahawks EK, 185% performance of a 5980 benches total." On userbenchmark.com. Are you familiar with userbenchmark.com?
Nope.
Can you recommend other improvements based on the bench?
Nope.
GTX 1080, I don't know, throw another one in there? I mean, honestly,
well, you can take your GTX 1080, which I'm holding right here, and you can switch it to a Titan X, which I'm holding right here. Yeah, I had to be that dickhead.
Dude, you're just a prick.
No, it's because I got my blocks today for the Titan X's so the Skunkworks stuff can move forward.
Are the other Titan X's just holding up the legs on your desk right now and like taking up the wobble?
No, they're still in the system, but I might do a giveaway with one of the Titan X's that came out of Skunkworks. I don't know, we'll see.
So Costa Rompapas, I think, said for Adblock, having issues here in Australia with getting a card without dodgy chokes causing coil whine. Was looking at getting a GTX 1080 classified for better build quality. Reckon there will be a Matrix, SoC, or Lightning. P.S. Aussie's pricing sucks. Yeah, we know that. Feels bad, man. Also, good job on the weight loss. Inspired me so far lost 18 kilograms in a month. That sounds like a hell of a lot more than I've lost. Dude, that's awesome.
The best way to fight coil whine is turn on V-Sync or G-Sync or whatever sync you got.
That really makes a difference.
Just not the kitchen sync. Yeah, coil whine comes from when the FPS runs away, like when it goes really high. So like if you're in a menu system and the FPS is like 2,000, 3,000, it go like the Witcher 3's menu goes up, like for me with the 1080 in there, it goes up to like 3,500 FPS. And then the card's just like, it's going all crazy. But if you turn on VSync, it can't do that. It also limits your max FPS, but if you turn on VSync, it means your FPS won't go above your panel refresh rate anyway, which means you'll get a much more fluid gaming experience, and your card won't have to work so hard. There's no point to make your card, there's no point in turning off VSync, because then your card just goes, it sends more frames to your panel than it can draw, and you get tearing and stuff. And it just makes your card have to work balls to the wall all the time, which it doesn't have to. So I run VSync on my panels, or G-Sync.
There you go. Good advice, folks. Let's see. Gabriel Barco said, I donated Jay, but he didn't read it, so your turn.
No, I blame Hobbs or YouTube.
Blame Hobbs. Hey, we had a disclaimer at the beginning. You blame Hobbs. YouTube can do no wrong. Jonathan Allison said, donated 20 to Jay, but YouTube sucks. Donated 5 more, but YouTube sucks.
Jeez.
So here's 5 more to you, Jerry. Jerry, congrats on the weight loss and keep up the good work. Jay, buying my first home and have plans to use a little of my renovation budget to install a sound system in the living room. Suggestions? Love you guys.
Dude, I took so much flack for this, but I really love my Sonos.
It sounded good. I'll admit it did sound good. I mean,
Dude,
you didn't crank it up like majorly loud, but it did sound really good.
I thought I cranked it for you. Maybe it was someone. I think I might have cranked it up for Josh.
It was somebody else.
Dude, the Sonos sub will shake this house, and it's 2 like 6-inch drivers.
That's
and
pretty
I love the Sonos. I'm buying more. I bought my Sonos. They weren't sent for review, and so it's a sound bar, technically, with a separate sub. And of course, you can take the Sonos One speakers and use them in the rear for surround sound. So I have a surround sound in my living room, but they're not cheap. Right? They're wireless. They operate through your network, not through Bluetooth or anything like that. Through your network, and you can control it with your phone. Like right now, I could log into the Sonos, and I could just crank the TV downstairs and freak out the family that's down there watching TV. And I've done it before. Little JB in there watching TV, and all of a sudden I'm just like, let's have some fun. Because she doesn't like loud noises, and then I'll just crank the volume to 100, and I'll hear her like scream and like jump under the pillow, which is kind of fun.
That's funny.
But the cool thing is you can take them and link them together and make them all play local radio or Pandora or whatever. So if you're doing like housework and stuff and you're moving around the house, all the speakers you have like in the baby's room or in the bedroom, in the garage, whatever, would all be playing the same thing. And then you can ungroup them when you're done, and they could all be controlled independently. I love everything about the Sonos. As long as you're not an audiophile. And the only reason I say that is because true audiophiles are like, no, we must have tube amps and blah blah blah, and that's a whole nother family.
Don't worry, Jay. They're sending your check. Gosh, just calm down.
No, I paid for
Sonos
this.
stuff does sound good,
I
though.
sent them a check. God damn it! Actually, it was a
Expensive
debit
stuff
card,
sounds
but still, it was a debit card.
And also, have you had any problems with it cutting out or anything like that?
Never.
Is it pretty reliable? That's good.
Not
All right,
not one time.
Hey, Pup Shepherd again said, hey, here, thank you. I've been replacing my chips with peanuts too much on, since it's harder to not munch on anything. Be careful with peanuts. They are incredibly high in calories. I'm totally fit at 6'3", 197 pounds, but I don't ever want to go over that weight again. Okay, well then you're probably fine with the peanuts. But I used to eat peanuts by the handful, and then I finally looked on the packaging. I was like, holy shit! 2 ounces of peanuts, 200 and some calories, or 300 and some calories. It's a lot, and that 2 ounces is not a lot of peanuts. Let's see. Thomas Craney said, hey, Jerry, I like the new video you released tonight about the girl porn bots on Twitter. Yes, I wasn't joking about that, guys. I really made a video about porn. Question, how long has this been happening? I hope we take down the bots like we did with the TechFly guys. Yes. Also, and I like your new DIY videos. They're very funny to me. That's all for now. Take care. So, so guys, go check out that video on my channel after Tech Talk. I literally made a video where I had to blur out porn literally through the whole video. Let's see. Draggy Ristevsky said, call me Dan. Just got a 1060. Wish it could SLI 1070 was too much money. Is Australia. Oh, I wish you had 1070s too, man. Oh my God, that 1060. Oh, I don't know if I can handle one of those. What?
I got a donation here that I want to read to you. I believe it's by John Prosser from Front Page Tech.
Oh God, this could be good.
He says, hey Jay, how's it going? Good? Good. Hey, do me a favor. Tell Jerry that I love him. Oh, and to go fuck himself. That is all. Also, here's $5 of my YouTube money.
I love John.
That sounds like something John would say.
Front Page Tech, go watch it. He's good people. I think he'll be a Vlogger Fair too. I hope he's a Vlogger Fair. Let's see. Are you going to Vlogger Fair?
I talked to what's his face about it a little bit, Chris.
Yeah.
And but I understand it's going to be a lot different this year. So I don't know. It's not even being held at like. I don't want to go into details because I don't know what the public knows yet. So
well, one day is basically going to be kind of I think like a vlogger thing, and the next day is going to be like a more of a tech stuff. I think, as I understand it.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that because that's not what I heard.
I would love to see you there though. So let's see. Francisco Hernandez said, "Hey Jay, love your video. I overclocked my i7 6800K to 4.5 megahertz. That's not very fast, dude.
Megahertz?
I think he means gigahertz. He literally put megahertz. Like, you have a 286.
We just went back to, like, 1991.
Yeah, he's got an 8086 with, like, a Mathco processor. All cores at 1.501 volts. That's pretty hot, isn't it? 1.5?
What CPU?
It's a 6800K.
Yeah, he's got way too much volts in there.
Yeah, that seems like that's right.
I wouldn't run anything more than, like, 1.35 for a major overclock 24/7.
Yeah. Here's the problem you're going to run into, because I did the same thing with my i930 back in the day. At 1.5 volts, the thing's going to start becoming unstable after a couple of months. It will. Using only my motherboard software and using an EK-Kit X360 at 41C. Can I overclock more doing it manually, like 4.7 all cores? Honestly, I would not go past 4.5 if you're needing 1.5 volts to keep that stable.
I doubt he's even needing more than stock to go past 1.5. It sounds to me like he did it backwards. When you're overclocking, you should find your max stable clock with the default voltage, and then when it crashes, dial the voltage back a tad, or dial the clock back a tad, and then raise voltage until stable, and then start raising the clock again. So it's like a leapfrog. Yeah, he just went the other way. He just went the other way. Like, I'm just going to crank in 1.5, and then I'm going to do like 4.5. And he's
you're going to kill your proc.
Yeah, he's kind of doing it backwards.
Yeah, I speak from experience. I have an i9 960 that used to do 5.1 gigahertz. It did that for 3 months. Then it did 4.9. Then it did 4.7. Now it's at 4.3 last time I ran it, and that's where it holds stable now. And it's because I was running a 1.5 volt.
And 22, my 5960X had been running at 4.5 forever, right? Which is technically a 1.5 gigahertz overclock on top of the base clock of 3.0. It's got a 3.3 turbo clock, so 1.2 gigahertz overclock on top of the turbo. That's a huge. That's like almost 30%. That's big.
That's massive. Yeah.
And so over a while, especially when I had the SoC Champion in there, which I still do technically, I noticed it was like, okay, I'd dial back to 4.4 and then 4.3, and I was like, shit, I'm even getting random crashes at 4.3 regardless of what the voltage was. So I was getting all frustrated with it, thinking that my chip was degrading. Then the latest Broadwell E comes out, and all the boards manufacturers updated their BIOS to support Broadwell E. I go into the latest BIOS, I'm at 4.6 now. Just fine, perfectly stable at the same voltage. So the BIOS from the board manufacturer plays a lot into it too. It really does. I mean, your general, let's just say kind of like your target area of where your chip will be stable will be the same on all the boards, but in terms of your max stable, it can have a lot to do with the way that the motherboard handles the power delivery too. So I was able with that.
The motherboard is responsible for housing the VRMs and everything for stable voltage.
Exactly, but also not only that, but also the fine tuning of the frequencies of the voltage. The voltage has a bunch of different like switches and stuff that go on in there that can be customized as well on the overclocking boards. Stuff I don't typically deal with, but stuff that guys like LN2 overclockers definitely would. But if you guys remember, I was frustrated as hell going, damn, this board is so unstable. I would go to start the system, and then suddenly I would get I'd be sent to BIOS because I had a crash, or I was crashing in Adobe, or I was just crashing in games, and then I wasn't stable. I was having to constantly do CMOS resets on this motherboard. I'm sure you guys remember, I was frustrated as hell with it. And then I tweeted one day like, wow, the Broadwell E update seemed to make things stable. I have not had one crash or hiccup since that update.
Wow.
And funny, as I say that, watch a blue screen pop up.
Yeah, it's about text stream goes down.
No, the thing was, I never had a crash once I was in the system, really. Like, okay, so Adobe every now and then, Adobe's really picky with your overclock. If you're perfectly stable with your overclock, Adobe will give you something went wrong in Adobe. But you would get kicked out to desktop, right? The system wouldn't hang. What I was dealing with, though, was it would crash on boot up, like during post levels of crashing. Once I was in the system, I was usually okay. Every now and then I might get your driver stopped working in a game because the CPU actually faulted, not the GPU. But yeah, all my issues were on boot up. But I just wanted to kind of report, because it's been several months since I've had that issue, like June. I have not had one problem since then. Yeah.
So in a nutshell, Jay went on up for this 3D printing talk version of what I do. Don't run your damn CPU over 1.5 volts. Back it off. Take it low and slow.
Oh yeah.
And what would you say would be a peak voltage to go for that without risking huge degradation?
I would say 1.35 volt for 24/7 is safe.
1.35, really? So you consider 1.5 way over?
Oh god, yeah. For Intel CPU, yes.
Oh geez, I was running 1.4 or 5 at the end of the life on that sumbitch.
For the stuff he has now, for the older like 3960X or whatever you have over there, the voltage was probably a little bit higher on the Ivy Bridge stuff. But on AMD you could run 1.5 and be like that's like your upper limit for like an FX CPU.
It's so frustrating too when your CPU starts hiccuping because it manifests itself as problems in every other system.
What happens is the temperature will exponentially climb. So like what happens is a lot of people think, oh wow, my temperature is only chilling at 45°C. Your core temperature is probably much hotter than that. You want to monitor your core temperature, not just the package or the CPU temp. There's package temp, CPU temp, and core temp. Core temp's the important one. What you'll find too is the difference between 1.1 and 1.35 would be kind of minimal, but then the difference between 1.35 and then 1.4 and 1.45, the temperature will start climbing exponentially as you reach those thermal limits.
Gotcha. So don't burn up your stuff. Josh Weeble said, "Hey Barnacles, just watched the weight loss video from today, and I'm now truly inspired to do. Here's $7. Hope you stick with it." I am sticking with it. This is the last time I'm ever doing this. I have my wife on board right now. I have a lot of people to support me, and I'm in a good place where even if everything goes horribly wrong, I don't see myself going back to my old ways. Daniel Riley said, "Keep up the great work with the meltdown." With the meltdown. Stay true to the change.
I think he's talking about me when I said that I was going through all the stress and stuff. I don't know.
Oh, poor Jay. Poor Jay. Emmanuel Perez said, "Hey, Jerry and Jay, here's Jerry's share. Also, Jerry, I like this whole dual donation thing. This seems to be working well. I'm working on making a Home Depot sourced parts 3D printer. Would this make an interesting video series? Abso-frickin-lutely. If you can make a 3D printer out of stuff that you mostly found at Home Depot, I think that would be wildly impressive. I made a rep wrap and want a larger print height and volume with an Ultimaker like creation of my own. Thanks and keep up the weight loss." Dude, I would watch that. You make that video, send it to me. I'll watch it. Let's see. Christopher Hanby said, "Mention your team's folding at home success and ask if Jay will fold on any of his shelved GPUs." No, Jay will not fold because Jay has expensive electricity in a room that gets way too hot.
Whenever new graphics card launch, my electricity bill will double because of the amount of benchmarking you have to do.
So Jay is not doing folding, not because he thinks that cancer should kill everybody. That's not what he thinks. He just he doesn't want to spend $10 a month to save people's lives. Just to be clear.
Oh yeah, $10 a month. What is a 40 cents a kilowatt hour equate to per month?
A lot. You would, because I pay 11 cents and my power bill is like $300 a month, so I don't even want to know.
My power bill for last month came down though. It came down to 558. The month before that was 700.
That's still terrible. Yeah. So the Folding at Home team, though, let me talk about it a little bit. We are now the first place for active users in the world. Out of every team in the world, we are number one active users. We are number 2 for most processing power. So the only people that are beating us right now, I believe, is EVGA. EVGA's team is number 1. We're number 2. And overall, I think we're in the 140s. Like overall for total processing power since the beginning of time. Wow. So we are climbing those ranks
in just a couple weeks.
Guys. Yeah, no, I've already gotten emails from a ton of people, including Stanford University, congratulating me on my success, and 2 people that actually wanted to pay me to promote their teams.
Yeah.
Just because of how successful it's been. So you guys have been awesome. We're all doing great work. Huge shout out to Kevlar Condom for running every computer in his house, like the freaking capacity, and even building another UPS to support the power drain on his machines just to do this.
Wow.
Let's see. Marco Ace Vito said, "Hey, I'm a computer engineer student from Puerto Rico. I'm taking a Java course this semester and was curious to know if you have any Java skills." I actually do. Java, it was one of the languages that I knew how to program in fluently. It's actually very, very similar to C#, and that's because Microsoft completely ripped off Java. But as far as C-style syntax languages go,
you're not faulty at all.
Huh?
You're not faulty at all.
Faulty at all. But as far as Java gets a bad reputation for instability and resource hogs, well, I shouldn't say it's not earned, though. There's bad programmers and bad runtimes that have caused that. But as far as a language that you can learn that's truly cross-platform, Java's fantastic. I recommend it to anybody.
Yeah.
Stefan Stendel said, "Hey Jerry, first off, looking good, man. Just wanted to say that if I could take time off from work, I would join the Dirtfish Rally School rally course. Could you do another event in the spring? I would love the opportunity to kick both of your asses. All the best from Norway." Well, he is from Norway, so that
Yeah.
there might be some street cred behind that.
Who said that?
This was Stefan Stendel.
Yeah.
And he said, but he's from Norway, and I think Norway is one of those countries where like everybody at like 15 can drive like mega rallycross. And then he donated another $5, and he said, "Hey, I forgot to show you guys this," and he posted an image. "Please watch it. I promise it's hilarious and delicious. Best regards." Okay, I will check that out later. Sorry, I'm trying to work up my list here. Michael Edwards said, "What do you guys think of the old X58 platform people have been using for the cheap high core count CPUs?" I don't know anything about that. Do you? The X58 platform?
What? That's the older Extreme platform before
Yeah,
the
he's saying
X79.
it's old, but he's saying that they're doing it for high core count CPUs, like for just high core computing.
What's he doing? What now?
He just asked what you think about it. He said, "What do you guys think about the old X58 platform people have been using for cheap high core count CPUs?"
I believe X58 was a triple channel RAM, and the highest you could get then was 6-core 12-thread. You can get much more than that now. I mean, you can get DDR4 obviously with X99. You can get 10 by 20 thread if you're willing to spend the money. But
I think he's more talking about cost per core, though. Being such an old architecture, you probably get the CPUs for dirt cheap.
So Coconut Monkey, his system, I built him an X99 system with a 5820K, and he had an X58 system with a i7 970, I believe, was in it. The core for core performance is night and day between then and now. We've come a long way. Remember, X79 ran for 4 years, and then X79 was phased out 2 years ago. So you're talking 6 years old now before the newest X58, which was already aged by the time X79 came out. So you're talking like probably a good anywhere 7 or 8 years old. We've come a long way in core architecture since then. So I wouldn't look at something that old personally.
All right, Joey Kagel, love your last name.
Yeah.
Joey Kagel, Web Design Consulting. He said, "Hey Jerry, Joey Tech Talks here. We got another Tech Talk."
Oh boy.
Joey Tech Talks here. Lol, for some reason, when I came up with this name, I forgot about the name of your show, and it hit me tonight. Lol, but you guys rock. So you just paid us $5 for licensing fees for Tech Talk. You're cool, Joey. You're covered.
There you go.
Ruben Villalobos said, "I donated $40 trying to get my comment read through YouTube Gaming, and it didn't go through. So here's my $5 to read this to Jay. For me, I'm building a new PC. I'm upgrading from an AMD FX 8150. Congratulations to you. Please be Intel. Please be Intel.
That's bulldozer.
I already have a GTX 1080 and an EVGA 900-watt power supply. I have, and then it got truncated. Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
I'm so sorry, Ruben. Send me an email.
Whatever he's going to do, just go with it.
Ruben, just send me an email. For some reason, PayPal truncated you because the message was so long.
What I think might be happening with YouTube? I think if more than one person makes a donation at the same time, I think whoever came in last gets the spot.
I think so too. Something's happening there. Yeah, so that it doesn't just flood the chat.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, here we had a $1 one. Normally I don't read the $1, but he said he already donated to you. Another lost comma. Antonio Trotter said, "Hey Jerry, donated to Jay, but didn't get my question answered. But I was wondering if I should buy a 6950X or a 6900K, and also should I SLI 1080 classifieds?" Absolutely, you should SLI 1080 classifieds. I don't care what Jay says, unless you can get a Titan. If you can get a Titan, screw that. But the 6950X versus the 6900K.
Okay, they're essentially the same thing. They're both the 8-core 16-thread CPUs. It's just,
what about price-wise?
I don't know. That's what I was going to say. Go with whatever one technically is cheaper. Okay, so 6900K is a Broadwell E CPU, where the 6950X is a Haswell E. And the 6950X... wait, did he say that again? 6950X?
6950X.
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought he said 5960X. Okay, so it's 10-core 20-thread Extreme versus 8-core 16-thread. The difference in price between those things is going to be like $700 or so. I don't think the extra 2 cores and 4 threads is worth $700 unless you're doing something that will be highly multi-threaded.
I mean, depending on your budget, but if you're going for bleeding edge, one is clearly faster than the other. But dollar for dollar, it's not going to be worth it.
They're both Broadwell E. They both obviously use X99 DDR4. It's why I'm not replacing my 5960X with the 6950X, because the amount of money was not worth it, right? I mean,
Yeah, some of those X CPUs are like crazy.
it's 1,749. I think you can get it for like 1,599 at Micro Center kind of thing. But
that's crazy.
They went ridiculously overpriced. Where the 5960X, when I got this the day it launched at Micro Center, because remember guys, I buy my own Intel CPUs. When I got this the day it launched at Micro Center, I paid like $899 for it, brand new, and it's nearly double the price of that for the next one. That was stupid because they added 2 cores. Stupid.
That's ridiculous. I agree with you on that. Vincent Bayless said, "Can you lose my spare 100 pounds, please, Jerry?" Yes. Yes, send it on. Let me lose this first, and then we'll talk.
Everyone send it to Jerry, and then he'll lose it.
Let's see. Pup chimed in again and said, "Thank you. I've been replacing my chips with peanuts." Wait. No, he already said that. Why is this coming in twice? Maybe. Oh, here we go. The headset in the top left of Jerry's screen looks like a logo that has been placed there.
It's a VR
headset,
this
is hanging back here?
Yeah.
That's the VR headset for the OnePlus 3.
Yeah.
So
how many more do you got?
I like the VR. I've got, let's see, hold on here. Let me read. 1, 2, 3, like 5.
Okay. Lightning round it.
All right. DB delivery. Jerry, you still broke my libido. 7 minutes just wasn't long enough. Oh, he's talking about when I released my video earlier. I said 10 minutes and I released it prematurely.
I see.
Let's see here. Efrain Ruiz said, "This is Ethan Rue, or just Rue."
He says that every time.
This poor guy.
I know.
He keeps telling us not to read his name, and it's like he's the most read name ever on this series. My post to Jay got cut off. I'm trying it this way.
Oh God, he's already typing too much as we get cut off on yours too.
Sorry, newly built rig. No, surprisingly they didn't cut this one off. I don't know what the hell PayPal is doing. Newly built rig. Lian Li PC08 EVGA Supernova 1000 T2 power supply. Asus ROG Maximus. Let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hero Alpha 4 16 MG Trident ZI7 6700K 4 gigahertz. Unlocked quad-core Skylake. God damn, is this guy looking this stuff up? Water-cooled Black Ice Nemesis 360 GTS radiator, EK XRes 140 Revo, D5 PWM, including pump, 6 Cooler Master, Sickle Flow 120, 2 SSD drive, dual GeForce GTX 980 Ti classifieds, upgrading to 2 1080 classifieds. My question is, I plan to liquid cool the 1080.
Long story short.
Yeah, I plan to liquid cool the 1080s. I will be adding a 240 rad, but due to the space limitations in the Lian Li, I cannot add another pump. Oh wait, didn't he ask you this already?
He started to, and then
should I look at adding an external pump or a res, or will that pump and res I have work? I have been in IT since the 80s and retired for 4 years, and it shows. I found you guys a few months ago and have been hooked since. Thank you, and keep it up. So should he mount an external pump for that setup, or can his 240 rad and his one pump be fine for 2 1080s?
I thought he said he had a 360.
No, he said 280. Oh, hold on, wait. No, a 240. He said, I'll be adding a 240 rad.
No, adding a 240.
He has the 360 and then he's adding the 240. So is he going to need another pump for that?
No, he's not. Look, I've got a single D5 on an EK X3 res, right, combo, that is pushing through 3 water blocks, a 560 rad, and a 280 rad. There's more than enough power and head pressure in a There's more than enough head pressure in a D5 to push through all that.
I like that head pressure.
You're fine. And also, 2 1080s on water is cool, like very cool. So literally, a red mist,
awesome.
It was like totally awesome tubular, dude.
Totally cool, man. So
the 2 1080s that went into red mist that were overclocked, the max temp they got was 38C. So they don't run hot at all on water.
Apparently.
So you're fine with that, especially if you're not willing to change your case.
Richard Stumrader said, donating $1 for every 5 years Star Trek. At 5 years of Star Trek. Oh, I didn't know that. Let's see here. Eris Kausakontikis. Wow, that's a hard one. Hey, buddy, I felt like buying you beer. Make sure you account for it in your total caloric intake. Have a great day. I might actually have a beer when I'm down in Oregon. I will be at OMSI Maker Fair tomorrow through Sunday, guys. So if you're down in the area, and I think Saturday night we're going to be at Ground Control Bar in Portland, the Barcade. So if you guys are in that area, come hang out. Dylan Sayers said, "Hey Jerry, here's for both of you. I have a 9590 running water at 39C all day. AMD heat, haha, more like freezer." 39C, if he's running that at max load, that's pretty damn awesome. I mean, he probably didn't mention the liquid nitrogen truck he has backed up to it. Thomas Ferry said, "You two are awesome," and he donated 3.14.
How nice. He donated pie.
That's clever. I just read your pie. And the last one is Ruben. Villalobos said, wait, no, that was the same guy that donated the $40, didn't get his comment read. Oh, he said, let's try that again. This is the guy that got truncated after getting screwed once. Let's try that again.
After it didn't show up for me.
Yeah, he said I have $900 for a motherboard, and that budget probably came down from $1,000 after I'm trying to get.
Wait, $900 for a motherboard?
Yeah, for a motherboard. RAM and all-in-one cooling solution. What are your recommendations?
Oh, motherboard, RAM, and all-in-one water cooling solution.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. He didn't say what CPU he has, did he?
$900. Just assume it's not AMD because he like donated $40, so I doubt he has AMD.
Do you have the previous comment he wrote that said what CPU he has at least?
Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. He has a AMD FX 8150.
Okay. All right. So any AM3 Plus motherboard.
You sure you have $900?
You can get something with a 990 FX chipset. It's not gonna really matter. With a 8150, that's the first bulldozer that came out. It's too bad you weren't able to get like an 8350. There was a big improvement with the updated bulldozer architecture, we'll call it. Just get anything with an AM3 Plus 970 chipset. It's gonna be fine for you, and has like beefy coolers and stuff on it. I would go with something like MSI makes some decent ones. Gigabyte makes like the ultra durable series, which is the UD3 is always like a really good go-to board. The revision 4 and up anyway. The revision 3 and lower tend to go with overclocking. So yeah, I would stick around there. RAM 1866 DDR3 is gonna be more than enough, and because you can overclock the RAM too. And for an all-in-one water cooling solution, if you've got for that much money, you've got more than enough left over to get something like an EK Predator, and you'd still have money left over. So I'd go with that.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're on, Jay. I made it through all mine.
All right, I got a few more on mine. That's what I was asking. So Jason Huey says, Jay, I fly with VR in FSX with the HTC Vive. First of all, I didn't know the HTC Vive worked in FSX. That's amazing.
I think it has for a long time. I think it takes mods, though, just like with everything else.
He says he's using a 4790K and a GTX 1070 custom water-cooled. Would another 1070 and SLI help the VR in frame rates?
Massive.
And then, no, Hobbs made a note on there, which is very true. One, the game is very old. It's not very multi-thread optimized, and it's extremely CPU-bound. So adding another graphics card probably will not alleviate your poor FPS in FSX. That's just the fact that you're running a piece of software that came out in like 2005.
Blame Microsoft.
Kyle Buchanan says, hey, Jay, on the coolant color change, is it bad? Is it as bad as they say? In reference to the previous comment about EK pastel fluid. Okay, so my issues, and I have talked with Mayhems recently, my issues directly were related to temperature, which a lot of people... that should be no surprise to anybody, because I was running 3 overclocked, 980s and then Titan X's and whatnot. What they found was it wasn't actually the fluid that was having a problem. It was kind of like the dye. The dye itself was having a problem, which is why dyes that were based on red, like yellow, orange, and red, were having the worst color change. I've been running the light blue now in the small ITX rig with a graphics card and a CPU and only a single 240 pump. Have no color change whatsoever. I've got the green over here in the test bed. I'm testing that to see if it changes color. No color change whatsoever. They have made chemical changes to their dye that's going to be moving forward. I have no information about it. I don't know when it's coming out. I think it might be already out, which will help some of those issues. So is it as bad as they say it is? Well, if you're using orange, yellow, or red, and you're running 3 really hot graphics cards like I am, then you might see color change. That's on the old
It does seem like a little short-sighted to me, though, that when you create a fluid, that its purpose in life is to live in a hot environment, that you wouldn't test it like beyond the typical heat of like one card. You tested it like beyond its max to see if something happened.
Look, graphics card temperatures is just like I was saying with voltage. It's pretty exponential. It's not a linear curve. 2 graphics cards with my setup, perfectly fine. 3 graphics cards, my Titan X's will still hit 60C on water, even with a 560 and a 280 rad. So it's one of those things where it just depends on how much wattage it has to dissipate. And with the 3 Titan X's overclocked to over 1400 megahertz, I was pushing damn near 1,000 watts of power alone in graphics heat that had to be dealt with the fluid. Jeez. I mean, that's a lot of heat to try and carry away.
Well, I bet you they've got like a Bunsen burner set up now to test that shit.
They did. When we were going back and forth, they did a lot of testing with radiators dealing with GPUs and no fans, just getting that GPU or that fluid as hot as it could. They did a lot of testing because of what came about last year. And Yeah, good things came of that situation. Sweeping Zero says, hey Jay, what voltage should I not exceed when overclocking my 6700K, assuming I can keep the temp safe numbers? We already said 1.35 for Intel is kind of where we feel like the general consensus is where you should stay. SV3D says, I have been stable with my 5960X at 4.5 with a 1.18 voltage on my X99 ASRock X99 ITX in an N case with an H100 V2. He won the Silicon Lottery on that.
Wait, did he say 1.8?
1.18.
Is he liquid cooled on that? Like
1.18.
Oh, 1.18. Okay, so yeah, he's totally at the low end of the spectrum.
That's
awesome.
that's like stock voltage right there. And he's getting 4.5 out of it in the ASRock X99 ITX. The only thing that sucks about that is you ditch four channel for dual channel RAM, but oh well. Thomas, last one. Thomas Carlson says, hey, what's up? I have a 980 and was wanting to upgrade. Should I buy another 980 or jump to the 10 series? God, these are questions I can't answer, man, because I would say jump to the 10 series. But
I'm really liking the 10 series cards.
I think everyone's feeling that though. Like, hey, and guys, by the way, the donation comments have already been cut off, or will be here all night long. So there has to be a cutoff point. Just saying.
I'll respond to the after Tech Talk. I'll respond to the additional comments. They're coming in an email.
At least you get email. I don't get notifications.
Yeah.
Yeah. So two 980s will perform really well, but remember, one 1080 in some instances actually outperforms the dual 980s. It really is one of those things where, like, not all the time. I would prefer the single card solution over the dual card solution where possible. If there was a single graphics card that was more powerful than than the Titan X's that we have, I'd run two of those, honestly. But no, so I digress. Did you even catch that, Jerry?
I did. It took a second though, but I got it.
If there was a card faster than Titan X, I'd just run two of those.
Yeah.
but anyway, I SLI because it's an enthusiast thing, not because I need it. If it's that, I mean, I've got a 1440p panel that's ultra wide that one Titan X can run just fine. One 1080 can run that just fine.
And the SLI experience also seems to be a lot better if you're on a single screen, like as far as like doing the maximized 3D performance stuff versus the multi-mon and surround and all that headache shit.
Yeah.
The SLI seems to be much more stable with that. So it comes down to personal preference. But what's two 980s will outperform a single 1080, right?
Not always.
Not
sometimes
always.
Yes, sometimes no. That it depends on the editor. Some benchmarks can be skewed to show that it, like NVIDIA kind of said, and the 1080 is faster than two 980s. Well, that's the first thing everyone tested, and what people found was like, not really. I mean, sometimes yes, but not really. You know.
Yeah, he is going to get but if he buys another 980, at least he's going to be able to find one on the cheap.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So as far as cost versus performance, the 980 is a good option, but I'm with Jay. I would rather get a 1080 in there.
The 980 came out exactly 2 years ago. I mean, it came out in September of 2014. So, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and answer this last one that came in that I see here. It's from James Passmore. He says, celebrating his new job at Singularity Computers. Wouldn't have gotten it without your awesome YouTube inspiration. Awesome, man. Yeah, Singularity Computers does a phenomenal job at their custom builds. Like, people say my water cooling builds are awesome. No. You look at the builds that goes on down there, down under in Singularity Computers, man. It's fantastic. It's time to go though. The wife made burritos. I can smell it. We were talking about food. I've been gurgling in my stomach this whole time, thanks to you mentioning 4 cheeseburgers, fatty.
Hey, one quick thing. Ruben came back because Take 3. He actually said he had $900 for a new processor, motherboard, and RAM. What would he recommend? So I think we could just say get away from AMD. Just get an Intel anything. It's $900.
Well, if he ditches the all-in-one water cooler, which you said the first time, then he could still get an Intel set up for that price. No problem. Give himself like a 4790K, 6700K even.
Yeah, get away from AMD, bro. Get away from AMD.
And for $900, he could definitely get CPU, RAM, and motherboard, and get a 6700K.
Or he could wait for Zen, right?
Well, that's still waiting. That's still waiting to be seen. It's looking like it's going to perform pretty damn good.
I know everything I've heard about it actually says it's pretty good. So now I'm a little scared that they're going to come out and AMD's going to be like, "What were you saying about us?" And I'm going to be like,
"But
sorry.
let's be honest though. AMD is known to be the hype train. So we'll just have to see.
We're going to find out. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap up Tech Talk 125. Jay's going to go stuff his face, and I'm going to starve myself more.
All right, outro time. Go.
Outro. Thank you for watching Tech Talk 125, where titles are just labels, and you can't put labels on us because we sweat and they don't stick. And thank you for helping us and supporting us, even though Jay has salt in his mangina. Is that the end?
It itches in a good way.
In a good way.
Let me get that salt in the mangina. Hold on.
Oh, come on, a good way. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Got it. That's the spot.